We're not a self-interested lobby group. We are a group of people getting together to look at how we shape a better city, a diverse, fairer, equitable city with great places where people can live fulfilled lives that is sustainable both physically and socially. How do we find that balance between change and the character of London, and how do we get the right balance between negotiation and certainty?
I think most of you know what a charrette is. You know, collecting that intense moment of design and working on a problem, you know, and throwing that information together into the back of a chariot and delivering that in the process. So it is about that intensity of sharing and interface. So we hope we can kind of find some of that spirit today.
London is one of the best cities in the world. It is a successful city both economically, culturally. It has the political and democratic qualities that make it an attractive place for investment, but also one of the best places to live, to work, enjoy and visit. And that's what we need to protect and enhance.
The people we've got here today are all people who have experience of the way that the current London plan works. They also know the areas where it doesn't work, and we think by bringing such a group of great thinkers together, we can actually give the next mayor really good guidance on how best to run London in the future.
The next iteration of the London plan has got to be much more about growth around London and across London rather than concentrated growth in the centre, which is probably now overheated.
If we are going to grow properly in a consistent way, it's about quality of greenbelt, and I think we also need to think about a greenbelt in a 21st century way.
Openly talk about issues around affordable housing, speeding up delivery, and how the public and private sector can work more closely together to really drive the growth agenda and to bring forward more development within London.
One of the most interesting things for me has been a discussion around civic spaces in the city. Where are they to be provided? With so little investment going to civic space, actually beginning to use the wider education estate to deliver some of those things. Schools as the new village hall, colleges bringing skills centres, and universities using their spaces, museums, libraries in summer terms for communities to gather.
There's a lot of common ground between all of us, particularly a focus on really looking at the green belt, the importance of workspace for London, and how on earth do we really crack the affordable housing challenge are all things that everybody's saying.
When I first came to England and went to Edmonton, and Edmonton Green was being developed, which is now rather dilapidated, how excited we were that this new development is going to come on our doorstep. And we all talked about it as kids. Can we do that again?
There was a strong call to have a London plan that has a well-articulated vision.
Network of growth nodes across the capital, so this is the kind of pizza model of London with different economic centres.
No argument, strategic greenbelt review.
Social housing, a plan that delivers a range of needs specific to the community.
We also had the greenbelt review, and we cheated and tied it into densifying suburbia and addressing the boundary of London.
The primary purpose of the plan should be to deliver well-being. Rethinking and reworking the boundaries in two ways, both of London itself, so it actually reflects the impact of London on the area around it more carefully, and then also within the boroughs. So these are again sort of looking at impacts, services, strategies, irrespective of boundaries, or looking more carefully about how those things fit together.
We had the role of meanwhile uses in the plan and a greater prominence of those.
I'm optimistic because London has been a thriving place for hundreds of years, and there is no reason why it won't continue to do that. There are good hands at the tiller of the way in which the plan is going. I remain optimistic. London is a great city. I love to live in it, and it's a great privilege to kind of have a day thinking about its future.